by that time I've done my important calls in the morning usually. So then I'm like, okay, just sit down, put my laptop right next to me, and then I just start hitting it.
This fool freaking quarantine is like the best thing that's ever happened to him.
But any game,
Yeah.
baby.
So what have you been doing, Raj, in quarantine? What's it been like for you?
All right, so I guess I started quarantine a week before it officially hit. So I work with Dallas County Community College District, and our spring break was the week prior to where quarantine actually started. So I was already a
March
week,
12th-ish?
yeah, around March 12th-ish.
Yeah.
I was already in my spring break, which led into quarantine. So I kind of had like a week buffer to get used to it. But aside from that, just working from home. Wifey works from home. The kids are home, going crazy every once in a while, which causes Daddy Dukes to get crazy. I
Yep.
got granddaughter around all day. So planning these calls sometimes is a little difficult when you got a call from work and stuff, and I'm like in the background. So that's pretty cool. So that's just
Cállate, mija,
it.
cállate.
Yeah, and and then every once in a while I cherry pick the wads. I look at them and I'm like, back is stiff. I'm sitting on this chair all day. I'm not. I don't
We'll
think
get
I'm gonna
into
do
that.
that.
We'll get into that in a second for sure.
Hey, so do you do video calls for work?
Yeah, I do. Well, technically speaking, I'm supposed to be doing 100% video calls with them, but that's not happening. As you can see, I haven't had have a haircut and a barber in a long minute. So I try to do less video interaction unless I have to. Of course, when you're dealing with a VIP at work, they want to see you and they want to see you more engaged and whatnot. But I would say about 50% of my calls are video, and the majority of the time is usually just a WebEx or Microsoft Teams call, non-video-ish. I try to do as much non-video-ish sessions as much as I can.
The reason I ask is I want to know, like, do you just wear like this dress shirt, the tie up top, and
Oh
then
no,
like
I'm
underwear on the
like
bottom?
this. I'm like this. What's even worse about it is some of the VIPs that I get on, they got like Captain America t-shirts on or Chick-fil-A t-shirts on, and it's funny. The ones that are even funny. The one the higher end, uh, they get on there and they're like really. Some of them you see them with gamer headsets on, and I'd be like, "You're a gamer, homie." So it's
Wow.
funny how yeah, they don't usually do that let me get dressed up for this video call or whatnot. So and then you also have some calls that have about 1,000 people on it because it's like a general session and we're trying to break down new stuff that's going on, especially since we work for the school district, a lot of the online courses and stuff and how what we do translate for the access for the students and whatnot. So
So,
those are the
so
ones. Was that?
speaking about that, like with the Dallas County, are y'all a pass fail system, or is that up to the teachers?
That is up to the teachers. We don't govern grading, though the independent departments within the schools. So we have 7 campuses within our district. We actually, well, my part is I work for the district office, which we deal with the infrastructure providing for all the schools to access. So now that we're in quarantine and we have to do the online system, I do VDI, which is virtual desktop interface in the cloud. So a lot of these admins, especially teachers, faculty, administrators, higher end, and now school, they need a platform where they need to access a desktop or whatnot. So that's where I'm in charge and making sure that infrastructure is set up correctly and they can access that system via
How
online.
long? How long do you see this going for? How long are y'all projecting to be doing this?
Well, we projected on, they're hoping by the end of the summer we'll be back into a classroom for the fall semester actually. But because we're Dallas County, we follow whatever Dallas County is putting out there. So if Dallas County say, yeah, you're staying at home for X amount of days, then we're going to stay at home for X amount of
Judge
days.
Jenkins.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's funny how like a city mayor, especially here in Dallas, is basically going against Greg Abbott. Like out of every city,
Yep.
it has to be Dallas. It's just like, are you serious? Like we can't talk crap to Houston because they're just gonna say you're mayor. Can't talk to crap to Austin because they're gonna say you're mayor, and we're just like, you're right.
So give me 1 or 2 things that you've learned in quarantine and how it's changed you for the better.
Patience is a virtue, especially dealing with kids. I have a mixed environment here. I see my oldest one, Julia, who's going to be 22. Then you have my youngest daughter, which is 12, going to be 13 in June. And then you also have my granddaughter. So,
Mm.
especially working from home, I got to give my wife props with working from home and dealing with all these younglings in different ages working from home because I find it sometimes a challenge, especially when you're doing those video calls and whatnot. I know my wife doesn't have to do video calls, but she works for the New York office online remotely. Um, and I know she has a lot of conference calls in general. So it's patience is definitely one of the things and trying to deal with okay, you're home and there's nothing I can do about it and can't send you out there because we're quarantined and whatnot. So patience is definitely one thing I've learned, and also the value of family.
Yeah.
Uh, is even though we are quarantined, this has given everybody the opportunity to work on family. Especially if your family has dealing with issues, hey, there's no way around it. You're gonna have to get with it, get with it, and work it out. And you find out a lot of things that especially if you work out of the home and constantly on the road, what you missed also. Like, damn, I missed that, and I missed this, and I made that, and it kind of helps you an individual rethink. Damn, is being on the road that important?
Right.
No. So those two things definitely, family and patience, is two things I definitely learned a
It's
lot.
interesting you bring up that because like Olivia, she being a child development manager, she deals with all these kids and that are being abused or domestic violence stuff, and that's one thing that she pointed out in the beginning is that the police are going to get a lot of these calls, domestic violence calls are going to go up, and
Right.
it's something I didn't even think about it. I couldn't even wrap my head around that perspective of like, yeah, it's great that that we're all home and that family. It's great if your family's good, and it's great if you don't get to see your family, but now you do. But and some of those kids and people that are forced to being staying at home have to
Yeah.
deal with that. And that's something that I've learned is just to find a different perspective. Like I saw a post the other day of somebody who's like there was a chain and it was like, oh yeah, family's great, the money's we're still good, there's food on the table, all this stuff, and it was so positive, positive, positive. I was like, but there's so much negative out there, and it's not to point out the negative and to find the negative and everything, but it's like even in this situation that may be positive, like there's still people that are struggling. And
I
that's
know.
what,
And
yeah,
to comment on that, based upon that, one of the major topics dealing with my job and what's that is offering the online course is because we're a community college. So some of these college deal with lower income families, and some of these children or young adults, whatever you want to call them, school was their outlet to get out of a broken home.
yep,
So now you're forced them to stay home
yep,
where they're looking for an escape from that.
yep,
And school, libraries, or even a computer lab where they could get out. Some of these lower income families don't have internet access.
right,
Some of these don't have mobile devices. Some of these barely have a cell phone. Especially if they're really lower income. And
yep,
and how do we address that and was it wise for us to close our schools and whatnot? But unfortunately, because it is a pandemic, we had to make the logical
yep.
in the schools. But yes, that is a huge topic, and that is the fact of like broken homes. They got an outlet, but now they don't have an outlet. So how even much more broken will they become?
Yeah.
You
And I don't even know, like, I mean, I come from a broken home. My parents are divorced. But me being, say, in middle school or even, freshman year of high school, like, if going through this right now, I don't know what I would do. Like, in that time where my parents were getting divorced, like, that was, you're right. Like, going to school was my outlet for 8 hours a day. Like, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do to get out of the house. So, I don't know. I think it's a topic that most people don't talk about, but needs to be talked about.
Yeah, you got a good point there. I mean, when you put it like that, like dang, like you were going through that with your parents. Like, I don't even know what like had this been like me moving down to College Station, it's like, oh crap, what I do now.
Hmm.
So yeah,
No worries.
going back to the family thing, what is probably one thing like you guys have taken away from this that y'all want to move forward with? Like for example, I think over here, we've talked a lot about traveling and like realizing life is short and we want to be able to take the opportunities as a family rather than, you know, wait on something. You know, my parents are ready to go back to Florida to where George and Callie got married to go explore Tampa as soon as we can. We want to go back to Guatemala this Christmas. We want to be able to like enjoy as much as we can. Like not saying like something like this is going to happen again in our lifetimes, but just we realize how life can be so short. We want to make the most of it when we can, you know?
All right, so for us, we're a faith-driven family. We definitely incorporate God with whatever we do in our finances, on our everyday lives, especially with work. A little bit of history. When I worked in New York, I've always chased the money, 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 money. So long as I have money, I'm able to provide. Um, and that took away a lot from me being around the family. For example, when Julia was born, my average day, I would leave the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. On a great day, I'll be home by 7, which is just enough time to probably eat dinner, maybe do some of the math homework because I was in charge of the math in the family with Julia, and then put her to bed. Not really much dialogue except parenting, um,
Mm-hmm.
and not being a father. And so when we chose to leave New York, we decided to leave the hustle and bustle and try to concentrate more on our family. And with that, we want to incorporate God a little bit more into it. And I stopped chasing the money and I started looking for work that I like doing. And with that doing, money just came along with it.
Right.
So basically a job became part of life instead of working to have a life, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, and so right now, with this quarantine stuff, it has given us a lot. Like we have family Bible study every Monday nights. You know, we just started that thanks to my wife. She thought about it, and we all jumped on board it about what now 3 weeks ago. Every Monday night we have a Bible study, all four of us, uh, and we just finished up a Bible study on the book of Job, and we just started another one with the book of Ruth. Um,
Another good book.
yeah. So that's definitely something that we're working on, doing stuff as family, doing stuff together, and one of the things that my wife always mentioned on like previously before this quarantine stuff, softball season was about to start for Emma, and that was basically every weekend, if not every other weekend, constantly on the road with her doing softball, running around, not really being able to settle down, and not we're not going to be around for stuff. And I know that was getting to us in general, but it was a sacrifice for us for Emma. But now we're all rethinking about it. Like, is that something we want to do? Emma, is this something that you want to do? And yes, Emma loves to play softball, but she also needs to decide for herself, not something that me and mommy want her to do. So that's something definitely. Is this something we want to do where we don't actually live a life and enjoy life and stuff like that, basically. So basically concentrate with family, doing stuff together as much as we can. Definitely travel. And that's another reason why I wanted to have my kids young, because I didn't want to have my kids older. I want to be able young and still be doing a hike without be like, I can't go up no more. So yes, definitely family orientated stuff, and traveling is huge on our list, especially since I didn't have to take about any vacation now that I told Jess next year is gonna be double double. We're gonna do vacation. It's gonna be lit.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So transitioning to working out, I know you got some stuff at the house. What has it been like? You mentioned cherry picking earlier. What has it been like working out for you?
For me personally, it's been tough. I am not a workout at home. I'm the type, if I'm home, listen, man, I'm not thinking about working out. I'm thinking about relaxing. I'm thinking about maybe catching some shows with wifey. I'm a gamer, so get on my Xbox and game a little. So especially working from home, my shift starts at 7. I'm rolling out of my bed at 6:45, brush my teeth real quick, log on, do this, that, put my laptop in the kitchen, make my breakfast. I'm doing good. I'm rolling. Lunchtime comes hit. You take about 10 minutes to warm up your food because we pre-meal. Warm up your food. In 15 minutes, I'm done with lunch. I got 45 minutes to kill. I might get on Warzone, game a little bit more. Come back to work, and then come 4 o'clock, I'm like, man, to get that, let me gotta work out now, and then I start cherry picking. I'm just not the at-home workout individual. My wife is very good at it. I made her some squatting racks and stuff like that, some homemade stuff. I got her those those mats from the tractor store and everything like that for her to use and stuff like that. So I'll do what I gotta do for wifey to make sure she's good. Motivation for me, if I don't work out with someone, I'm the type that's like it's kind of hard, especially at home. So my wife, the great lady that she is, she sometimes waits for me because she's able to work out a lot more earlier. And so she'll wait for me just so I could get a workout in. And she kind of knows which she'll look at the water. She's like, yeah, he ain't gonna do that right now. So she'll do that early on, and there's certain like, that's the water he'll probably do, and I'll wait for him. So that helps out a lot, definitely. So for me personally, it's been a real struggle. Anything with running, obviously you lost me.
Same.
So you know, if you got running in it, I'm like, yeah, Ryan, that's not gonna work for me, especially at home. You know, somebody better be here, bring a bike, you know, and stuff like that, because I'll do the bike all day if I have to. But running, yeah, nah, my plantar can't handle the running anymore. Damn, too old.
That was me yesterday. I picked up a shift in the morning. I was like, can't do that running workout. And then they're like, Eric, we're going to cut you at 1:30. I was like, dang, that's just enough time for me to get the workout in. Then we got busy again. Then I get cut till 3. And I had to be back at 4. And I was like, just missed it.
Oops.
I'll do it. I actually want to do that one tomorrow. So hopefully.
I was thinking about maybe to find someone that had a rower or a bike or whatever, maybe go over there and do it. But that's just too much effort right now.
Come over to my house. We got a rower.
You come over to my house, or I have the keys to the Rabara Kingdom over there. So
yeah, I've been trying to. I know Just went over there once or twice to do it over there with her and stuff like that. But they seem to do it a little more early than when I get off from work. So I ain't gonna argue, you know.
Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, funny. Those squat. You mentioned those squat stands. I wanted to point out those. You had the bright idea, and I think a couple of people also had that bright idea of making those. So how did you come up with that? And then
actually
tell us about doing them for the people at the gym.
Actually, I don't want to take credit for that. I want to give that credit to Jason Cobb. This is the one that actually did it first, and I asked him about it, and he sent me a link. I think it was a Pinterest link or something like that that showed it.
Pinterest, Roger?
Like I said, he sent me the link. I didn't get it from Pinterest, so you know, I ain't gonna talk about Jason's selection. He does what he doesn't behind closed doors, but I did get the idea from him, and it was cool. It was actually easy. Of course, me, I'm a perfectionist when it comes down to creating stuff and stuff like that. And I kept on telling wifey, like I could have done it well, a good 2 weeks prior, but I was just saying that I was like, man, I know I could do a better one that's adjustable and whatnot, because
oh my God,
based upon her size. And you know, I used it the other day for the squatting, and yeah, you squat up, but when you're doing heavy weight, you gotta kind of squat right back down and put it onto that rack because of her height. You know, it's like doing 2 squats. Sense, but it was actually easy. It's really easy to do. Ryan, God bless his heart, decided to bless a certain amount of people with them, whoever needed them, and we got together at the gym on top of doing other work that we had, and we meet. Actually, Jason Cobb was there with us too as well, and we shout out to Chris, Eric, you, obviously Justin, Tristan, Jason Cobb, obviously Ryan and myself. We were out there doing work, a little bit of touching a little bit of everything wherever we can, psych them out, and it was cool. It was good. He definitely had a lot more tools that made it a lot more quicker. It took me a couple of hours to do it because I was mixing that damn cement by myself with a right bar and all that. And yeah, that was, my lower back was on fire. But we actually had the proper tools to actually bang 8 sets in a matter of 3-4 hours that we truly worked on it. So it was good. It was a good experience, and the fact that we were able to bless other individuals that didn't have that type of setup, and to give them another form of working out at the house was actually good to know, and pleasing to the soul, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what does the gym mean to you?
Oh man, the gym. What it doesn't mean to me. I mean, we started. Let me go back in the history of us. We started CrossFit back in Georgia. We joined a CrossFit gym, which we thought was pretty decent, but it had its cliques. A lot of these CrossFit gyms have cliques. It's not really community based where everybody truly gets along. And it was good. We liked it. We enjoyed it. But during that time, I believe it was about almost a year removed before we moved from Georgia to Texas. So when we came to Texas, there came also the next, we're going to find our next box. My brother was going to NFX. I believe he was on a 10 punch card session type of thing.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the days. I don't think you guys do that anymore, right?
We do it for a few people. People, not very many.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so then he brought us in there. We met everybody, and of course I wasn't working that time because we just moved over, so I definitely had a lot more exposure to the box. I was there at the noon class. I just want to say I was never injured, not working. I was healthy, until my wife made me get a job. I started getting injured myself. I couldn't concentrate on me.
Drinking those sugared Gatorades every freaking day at noon.
They were delish.
I would never forget the day where Ryan's like, "Why do you drink those? Because they're good for you." Whoa.
Yeah, I remember that too. And I was like, okay, but I dished it quick. Did I not?
You did.
So from there I got to meet obviously the original members, Molly, Huck, Ryan, Vanna, little spider monkey over here, which I thought which you've come a long way. And just meeting you guys and developing relationships. And from there on, it just flourished. I mean, you guys are like a second home, if not a first at times. We've never wavered from there on. I think after the first week or two, I looked at Jess and I said, hey, this is our box. We found that, the fact of they got similar goals where we do. Some of you guys at that time were faith oriented. Some of them were still dabbing in the faith, which if you come look at it now, how we've all come a full circle with our faith driven box community. That's something that's important, that we were in a community that had the same beliefs and values that we have. So from there on, obviously we've become a lot more than just a box and gym. We are family. I consider you guys family. Ryan and Huck are two of my closest friends. Vanna and the rest of the girls are obviously very close with my wife, and stuff like that. Justin, you're like another son for me. Eric, you're like another stepson.
Don't take full responsibility, just like halfway. Dude, your shower curtain's fine, man. Leave it alone. It's in the past.
You're the brother I like to pick on, always dragging the dirt, but I will pick you up.
Oh man,
I don't love you less.
He's so butthurt right now. You should see him.
But it is what it is. I mean, you guys, the box is a huge community. We've developed so many friends from it. So many. I just can't wait till this quarantine is over and we get back to life as normal with the box community and everybody get to see each other again. I think it's gonna bring it's subconsciously right now bringing us so much closer than we all think.
Yeah.
So speaking of quarantine, I think something we haven't jumped into, just kind of want to get like some brief thoughts on it. What is your take on Corona? What do you like? What is it to you? I think to everybody, it's a little different. There's those people out there that it like definitely high risk, old population that are definitely need to stay in for as long as they can, as long as, they're told to until something comes out of this. What are your thoughts on it? What are your initial thoughts when you hear Corona at this point?
My quick take on it is I believe a lot of us has been exposed to it without even knowing it. Real quick, me and my wife, I would say maybe 2 months ago, just were dealing with this constant cough and stuff like that. And they just say, oh, my wife had bronchitis and had this and that. And seeing what the CDC has posted out as symptoms and stuff like that, I was like, man, we could have had Corona and we had no idea. We were just healthy enough to be able to overcome it. They won't tell us that directly. We can't confirm that directly. So I think it's a virus that hits a lot of, and the lack of word to say, unhealthy people, hits them harder. And especially if you're an individual that had many medical problems throughout their lives, they might get hit. For example, my aunt, who's been in ICU for the past month, she's had many medical history issues and stuff like that, and so she's had the coronavirus, and she's been up more bad days than good in my opinion, but she's still fighting. You know, she's still there. We pray for her. We had a prayer session, a Zoom prayer session not too long ago, and I just think it's something that there's no timetable for it. It's just we just got to get through it. You know, it is what it is. There's I think it's something that it has to take its course.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like the flu. There's going to be many different strands of the flu. And I think this coronavirus, there might be a couple of different strands that we still have to overcome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
I watched the coronavirus explained on Netflix yesterday, like 26 minutes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
There's like 7 different flus that they've found, but they're saying there's probably like 1 million different viruses that they haven't even discovered yet that are probably more deadly than the coronavirus, which is daunting.
Yes, it's crazy.
I mean, that's what they say with a lot of things. Like in what is it, like the Amazon jungle? Only like 5% of it has actually ever been like looked at or something like that.
Yep.
The Mariana Trench covers like 90-something% of like ocean life that we still don't know about. There's so many things in this world that you just don't know. So I mean,
exactly.
People don't realize. I feel like the year we're in is still like for the Earth and everything. There's still so much stuff out there that generations past us will have to deal with. That we like
what I find even especially more surprising was with this quarantine is that on the news they did the health department I think did a scan of pollution around the world, and it has gone down 60%.
Crazy.
In India, they could finally see the mountains.
Yeah.
They haven't seen in like over 30 something years, if I'm correct. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Hawk a ball, go look it up.
Hawk a ball, yep.
Roger, if you like conspiracies, you'll go to YouTube. Anybody else watching this, go to YouTube, search Fall Cabal. It's about 8 parts, I think, on YouTube. 10 parts. And it kind of talks about the coronavirus, but it talks about like this might be something that
it's crazy. If you have,
I don't want to get too much in.
Go watch it.
I don't want to get too much into it, but like it really gets you thinking on a lot of the little things you see, especially like how you're talking about the pollution. Oh, look, people have been locked inside for 2 months, and now it's the air is good again. Yeah. Oh, so go watch that. So Roger, quick question.
Yeah.
What is your ideal day as soon as this is over? What is like? Say I'm gonna give you Saturday, not even a work day, a Saturday.
Family out the house, I could game by myself.
Change all the codes.
Some Pringles and just chill and actually game with nobody bothering me around. That'd be a nice day. But overall, just the freedom to know that you could step out this door and not be restricted.
Yeah.
I think in anything we do, whether it's going to the box, going to something simple as Kroger, and that we just knowing that freedom of, hey, I could go anywhere I want. I could go to the box. I could go to the gym. I could go to Kroger. I could go to Walmart. But just getting out, it's just knowing that.
Yeah.
What's the first place you want to go sit down at? Huh? What place do you?
Oh man, a bar. Any bar where we could all get together and just have a drink together. Finally, not worrying about 6 feet apart. And just sit there and say what's up, give a hug to somebody and whatnot, that'd be ideal. And if it's not even a bar, it could be a freaking IHOP for all I care, some place that all of us that we've prior to this quarantine that we were so close to each other and be able to socialize with each other as much as we can, anywhere that we can all get together and actually enjoy life together.
Yeah, I can't wait till Corona makes like a commercial. Sorry we kept you guys close, but cheers to us being back together.
Yeah, that's actually good. You better copyright that now.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get it on broke right here.
So what about you guys? You guys? How about quick, Justin? What have you been doing?
Wow, man, a lot of Netflix. Honestly, I couldn't tell you how many hours of Netflix I've watched, but I was talking to one of my church leaders actually just before we hopped on this, and I told them a little bit what I've learned, like learning how to be a better fiance/husband, like how to treat Olivia, what kind of what her quirks are that kind of popped me off a little bit, but how to react to it a little bit better. That's kind of the biggest thing that I've learned, and then obviously having God centered in our relationship is kind of growing us together.
Nice.
But just being able to spend time together, like
Yes.
we used to be on the hustle and bustle before quarantine, and now obviously that we moved in together, and now we get to like see each other face to face all the time, which is what I love. So yeah.
Yeah, because if you can't deal with each other now, then you got to rethink this thing.
Yeah, I told my brother. I told my brother, man, you just got married and y'all got thrown in quarantine. Here's a true test.
There you go. Rip the Band-Aid. Just go ahead. What's up with you, Eric? What you been doing?
Dude, I've been working a lot, man. I'm putting in about 35 or 40 hours a week. Like, it's not the same, like, 6, 7, 8-hour shifts that one would have, like, on a Monday night and just kind of casually waiting tables. Like, the work we do in about 4 to 5 hours is insane because really you can't mess up somebody's to-go order because if you do, by the time they get home, they're pissed.
Right.
2, there's, like, 30 cars outside, and they're all wondering where their food's at. Yeah. Yep. So it's been interesting learning. We're not going to do anything till May 18th, but the company's kind of looking at me for some steps up. So we'll see how that goes for the next couple months. Looking good, hopefully there. Working out when I can, trying to get a good schedule going. I've kind of realized that if I can my ideal working out from home would be my bedroom in the garage because I need to be able to like just jump out of bed, drink a bang, and kind of get to it because, man.
And then needs your bed to kind of recover.
Yeah, because, man, like trying to get up out of bed, walk downstairs, get the motivation to work out, it's hard. So trying to adjust as best I can. We'll see how everything goes going forward. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, Roger. Appreciate you hopping on for 32 minutes this morning.
Yes.
I love you, man. Appreciate all that you do.
Love you guys too, man. I'm honored.
Love you, dude.
Thanks, bud. See you next time.
Right. Talk to you soon.
See ya. Have fun on Warzone in about 13 minutes.
Yeah, just about.
See you guys.